Hey guys, my name is Sang.
My name is Ansley.
And today we're going to be talking about perfect day at CocoCay if you're going on a Royal Caribbean cruise and you want to know what you can do on the cruise when you get off of perfect day at CocoCay on things that you can do without costing money. Alright, so when you get off the port, there's no tender. It's a pretty long walk, right, Ansley?
Yeah.
And so what you're doing is basically walking between any boats. The day that we were there, there was like one other boat, but it wasn't crowded at all.
The walkway getting into CocoCay had a pretty cool entrance. You could take a lot of pictures and stuff.
Yeah, and so when you go in there, there's these beautiful, like, wooden something or others, and it just greeted you. And then you can see the big thrill park right in front of you, but we honestly didn't spend any money on the thrill park because, number one, our kids were all in the age of 10, and our youngest one was, I think, 3 at the time. Is that right, Ainsley?
Yeah.
And so then what we did was we instead just used and perused the little island, and they had a ton of things to do here. So you get off like the little walkway after getting off the ship. There are beaches galore, and there's seats galore everywhere. And most people actually tend to stop there first, and there's a ton of little shops that you can visit, and there's hammocks like right away from the water that you could use, but it didn't make any sense to me on why you would have a hammock that was away from the water. So we didn't really sit on the hammocks much. We went to the beach, and then there were tons of seats. I wouldn't worry about not having a seat there. But what we did was we walked around just to see where everything was, and then when the kids saw the water park that was free, they just went crazy.
The water park was super fun. Conrad and Aubrey really had a great time. I just didn't really get in the water much since I'm allergic to chlorine, but they had tons of slides, and I didn't think there was a height limit for any of them.
We spent most of the day there, and to be honest, if I compare this to, let's say, Worlds of Fun that's in Kansas City, which we frequent, it had all of the same things, all the same amenities as any normal amusement park, water park, but it was all confined in a small space, and it was free. So let's talk about the beaches. There were a few beaches, and Ainsley, what would you rate in terms of like how busy it was?
It was not that busy. We went there first, and I think everyone goes there last because it's kind of far from the park.
So we went to a lot of the beaches. The seats were pretty, empty?
Yeah.
They were pretty empty, and we also saw these like beds that I think when I saw the prices, they were about like $800 or something to rent, which was ridiculous because you saw the beds. I'll show you guys a video of this, but you saw the beds, the fancy beds. I don't think anyone actually rented them. And then you saw the other side where there were a ton of seats available, even with umbrellas that you could sit underneath. And so we never had a problem with actually finding a seat.
Water was so fresh and clear, and everyone had a good time. And we just played in the water. We didn't really go that deep.
We also decided to do a hula hoop contest. Why don't you tell them about the hula hoop contest?
So there was a hula hoop contest right by this pirate water park thing, and so there was this person sitting there. They had a bunch of hula hoops, and the record was I think 10 minutes. And I was hula hooping, and I actually got 11 minutes, so I beat the record.
So you hold the record at CocoCay?
Yeah.
And what's funny is that we went on this cruise right before all things COVID hit, and we were actually one of the last cruise ships that weren't quarantined that got to the Bahamas. So I'm pretty sure that Ansley holds the world record, well, not world record, the Royal Caribbean CocoCay Perfect Day record for the longest time hula hooping, which is pretty cool. Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the food. There was frozen yogurt, right?
Yeah.
That you guys absolutely loved. But the food buffet was awesome. I think they had some other places that you can eat, but we didn't really pay for any extra food that was there. We got enough to eat. I believe, if I remember correctly, the chicken was really good.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a secret menu for chicken, and it was on the other side of the island, but we didn't have time to actually try it. But if you guys are going to Perfect Day at CocoCay, make sure you look out for the spicy chicken is what they call it, and I believe there's a hut, right?
Yeah.
A hut that you can go get that from. So Oasis Lagoon is this huge lagoon, basically, almost like a wading pool. What do you call it?
Like a relaxed pool?
No, what's that pool that you guys go to at camp?
A lazy river?
Yeah. It's almost like a
lazy river.
And so our kids absolutely loved it, and they had a tiered I think it's what it's called, a tiered like approach where you can step in, the little kids can play if they don't know how to swim, and then it gets a little bit deeper. So you might want to watch your kids when they go into kind of the shallow end. But it was absolutely fun. It was huge. There was actually a lot of people partying on one side, and then the calmer people are on the other side. So just FYI, there is a party area, which there's I think a walk up in the pool bar that a lot of people hang out with. So if you have kids, you guys might want to avoid that area.
Oasis Lagoon is a really fun place for kids, and I mean, if you have kids like younger like ours, you might want to stay away from the deeper side. I think it went all the way to 7 or 8 feet.
Cool. Let's talk about the weather.
The weather was like really bad for the day that we went, but we had like a miracle because so it started like pouring and then it just stopped, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, so the day that we went, like, it was perfect when we got there, and then the clouds came and it rained for a bit, but it didn't stop anyone from having a blast. I know that we went underneath like a little awning on one of the beaches, which wasn't bad, right? But it was nearing towards the end of the day, which even if it was in the middle of the day, I mean, things still went on. There wasn't any lightning or anything like that, but I think it was just a random pop-up storm, and based on the people that were on the island who like work there, they told us it was pretty normal and it didn't phase them. It didn't phase us at all, but it was really fun. The kids got a little bit cold near the end when it was raining, and then we were like basically they were tired too, so that's probably what caused everyone to be a little bit cold, which is weird. But overall, like, we still had a blast even though it rained for about 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, the pirate ship was also really fun because you could go down slides. I don't think there was one lifeguard, but there was no height limits or anything. But I don't think your older kids, like your 9 and 10-year-olds, wouldn't enjoy this as much as your younger 6 or 7-year-olds. But it was also really fun.
Do you think someone like Lorelai, a 3-year-old, would like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is exactly where like the hula hoop contest was. And I know on your itinerary, I can't remember what Royal Caribbean calls it, but on the itinerary the day before, you'll be able to see like what the events are on the island as well. There's also a paid area that has like an infinity pool and some beach loungers that gives you more serenity and all of that, but we didn't pay for that either, and I felt like we didn't miss out.
I wouldn't recommend going through a water park because those slides look huge, and if you have like 4 siblings that are younger or like 3 or 4-year-olds, they probably wouldn't have fun because me and Aubrey, as if it were me and Aubrey just alone, we would have a blast, but they would not really have a fun time because
they have height restrictions and height limits?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's compare this to Disney's Castaway Cay. We've been to both now. So Castaway Cay, we went like maybe 3 years ago, and then right after, the year after, we went to Royal Caribbean. So, Ainsley, how would you compare? Which one do you like better? Do you like Disney's Castaway Cay, whatever you want to call it, or do you like Perfect Day at CocoCay?
I like CocoCay.
Really? More than Disney?
Yeah, because the entryway was a lot more welcoming, and you could take a ton of pictures as if like
Well, outside of the pictures, what about the activities? What would you like better? When we talk about the island, not the ship, but the island.
Maybe, I don't know, I can't choose. They were both really fun.
Did, I guess, Castaway Cay have like some of the slides and all that?
They didn't have as much as CocoCay, but they had pretty similar slides. I just think CocoCay was a lot more fun.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think they had a lot more fun on CocoCay, but then on the ship there was there's differences in ship. I feel like with the Disney Dream, there's a ton, like the kids area is like absolutely amazing, right? And they can run wild and go and play all in there together. Whereas Royal Caribbean is a little bit more structured, and the ship like has a ton of things to do for a variety of ages. But I feel if you had to compare, Ainsley, which ship do you prefer? Dream or Royal? Just the ship alone.
Was Dream the Disney?
Yeah, Dream is the Disney one.
Disney.
You like the Disney ship better?
Yeah, but if Disney went to CocoCay, then I would love the...
Yeah, if Disney went to CocoCay, she would love it. If you guys have younger kids like we do, like a mix of younger kids, so our kids were like 3, 4, 8, and 9 at the time when we went on our cruise, I would say do not get the little water park because half the time your kids will be like hanging out waiting for their siblings to finish their water slides and all that. So I wouldn't recommend that. Honestly, everyone had a blast doing what we were doing, including like the small free little water park to the beach, and then just riding around in the little tram.
How much did it cost? How much did it cost if
For
you
what?
went there?
The thrill water park? I think it was like $60 a person.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
We have 6, so.
And there were only like a handful of like big slides that you'd be riding for $60 a day. But that's the cost of any excursion for any day on any day that you're on a cruise ship. That's a review of Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day at CocoCay.
Please help the algorithm out by subscribing and liking this video.
Thanks guys, take care, bye.